to make a choice, time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss loved ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Fight the war. Fight the war. Oh, who knows why we're fighting? It's about the might. Let the righters righting settle wrong from right. In the time of conflict, when the bullets fly, in the space of seconds, a life you cannot buy. Face the facts before you, face the simple truth. We're hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war. Soldiers in the ruins, rubble in the streets, corpses near the buildings, all is light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice, time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past the future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war. Yeah,
Hey everyone, whoops. Whoopsie. I did not quite get back. This is what happens when you start your intro and then run downstairs, and then all of a sudden there's like 4 other things that you realize you have to do when you're downstairs, and you're like, I didn't get back in time to do the harmony with the thing. Oh man. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome Argonauts to a Friday night stream. It is December 8th, 2017. We are now only 17 days from the arrival of a man in a red suit. Actually, I guess 16 days. And I hope that everyone is looking forward to that. And for those of you who don't celebrate, we are only some days away from Hanukkah. For those of you who don't celebrate that, we're only some days away from Kwanzaa. For those of you who don't celebrate that, we are only some days away from Festivus. But either way, we are only some days away from something. So that's important. But it's good to see everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. And yes, I am looking forward to our D&D session today as we play D&D with viewers Defiance in Flan Mission 3. the dead at high sun. Before we get there, though, I do want to remind everybody about ways to support the stream, and we do have a couple things to talk about regarding the Patreon. So we will get into talking about that in just a minute. First of all, reminder about other ways to support the stream, though. Exclamation point CTT will allow you to tweet out the stream. Exclamation point ARV2 will allow you to check out past broadcasts of the stream, including past D&D with viewers sessions, by the way. Exclamation point Steam Group will allow you to check out the Steam Group where I make announcements about the stream and sometimes hang out with folks in between streams. We do a lot of hanging out as well on Discord, of course, and you can check that out with exclamation point Discord. If you want to support the channel in a financial sense, which is appreciated and definitely does make a difference, the first way is to hit that sub button right above the video window, nice and easy. You get one of those awesome Arvin E hypes, those gold hypes, those get hypes in gold, which Kilobyte was good enough to put together for us. So if you support the channel that way, that is a big help, so that would be super cool. And I do want to mention, and I think I need to actually confirm this, but I believe there is currently a sale going on subs. Oh, look at that. Oh, you guys make me feel so good. That's the best. Look at that. Elias, Chaotic, C-Div. Look at that. Get hype, get hype, get hype. I love it. I love it. But I believe that there's actually, if someone can confirm, I got to check this, but I believe that there is a holiday sale on subs and there is a holiday sale on gift subs. So if there's somebody here that you're like, you know what? I'd like to give people the gift of ARV. No, I'd like to give people the gift of story. I'd like to give people the gift of D&D. One of the things you could do is gift someone a sub in this chat, and that would be a nice way for you to be able to demonstrate your particular love and care for them, and also support the channel at the same time. So we're hopefully going to have a couple of other things that I want to do as sub benefits. One of the big benefits, of course, is the Twitch emote, and I try to keep both the Patreon and the subs kind of balanced, but I'm going to see what I can do about maybe adding something in. I'm thinking I might make as a sub bonus perhaps that watching, I talked about watching like Star Trek episodes, like watching a couple of those with subs, doing that on Rabbit if I can figure out a way to do that, or something like that via Discord. I would not stream that on Twitch, but I think it might be fun for us to do that. So I don't know, we'll think about it, but I am going to try to do something down the line. So hitting that sub button is definitely helpful. The other way to support the stream is through the Patreon, exclamation point ARVTreon, and for that we need to talk a little bit more, and so I am going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this, and then I'm going to turn on this. Okay, there we go. Hello everybody, how's everyone doing? As per usual, my webcam has elected to forget all settings that I put into it last time because that's what it likes to do. So I am just going to tell it to stop with the autofocus. I'm going to get rid of the low light compensation. I'm going to build up the brightness a little bit and build up the contrast. And there we go. And then I'm going to, I think the white balance is already set. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Logitech software. You got to love it. Okay. Hi everyone. Again, good to see everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. So here we go. Now I don't want to take too long on this, but I do think it's important. I said this morning during my fantasy fiction stream that I was going to talk about this tonight because I think it's important to discuss these things that happen. And I noticed, by the way, that 667 is in here. 667, good to see you again. And yes, I will explain how people can play with me on the D&D stuff. So hold tight. We will talk about that. But this is important because this is going on at the moment, and I need to talk about the Patreon. So please bear with me for like 5-10 minutes while I get this addressed. Focus is still off a little bit. All right, hold on a second. Hang on a second. This is my new C922 camera. I really like the picture, but I wish that OBS played better with it, honestly, because it does not play as nicely as I'd like it to. Yeah, see, I don't think that's, see, wah! Yeah. What's optimizing? Okay. I think that's going to be it for now. I got to figure out other things with this. I need to get some of my wonderful tech folks to help me a little bit with it because it's a really nice camera that doesn't play nice with OBS, and it's annoying me. Anyway, Okay, so here's the situation, people, with Patreon. I want to start by saying that this is the third time that Patreon has done something dumb. And for those of you who don't know what we're referring to about the Patreon system, it has to do with their fee structure, and I'll explain what it is in just a moment. But the first thing, this is the third thing that Patreon has done that has annoyed me since I've been with them. And I've had this Patreon actually since May of 2015. So this has been running for well over 2 years now, actually for over 2.5 years now. And I've gotten a lot of support through it, and it's been a big help for the channel. And I cannot be thankful enough to my patrons. And I want to say again that for all of you who are always in here watching, it really makes a difference. So thank you, thank you. For all of those of you who have cheered, who have subscribed, it's made a big difference. For all of you who have supported the Patreon over the years, it really does make a difference. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All of what I'm about to say is partially my annoyance on your behalf. So this is the third time Patreon has made a stupid mistake. Mistake number one came when they changed, and I want to say this was sometime last year, maybe January or February of last year. They changed the way that they displayed pledge amounts. So previously what would happen is you would say that you would show on your front page of your Patreon, you were making X amount, right? And the X amount was the gross pledge amount. It was basically the number of patrons who had pledged the amount that they had. It didn't take into account fees that you had to pay. It didn't take into account declined cards or, payments like that. It didn't take that stuff into account. So it's true that it was not fully 100% accurate, but it was a reasonable measure to me of the support that the channel was getting from patrons, right? Like that was basically the idea. So then Patreon changed this and said, what we're going to do instead is we're going to calculate your fees and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to publicly show that number. In other words, we're going to show people what you actually get, which means if someone has a declined card, they don't count as a patron. Their pledge doesn't count towards the total. Now you think to yourself, oh, this is great because it's giving people an honest assessment of the way things are going down. The problem with this is, though, that number one, there are occasionally times where people have a card that gets declined because they need to update it, or financial circumstances change, or something happens where literally they might skip maybe a month and then they're back the next time. But in the meantime, because of Patreon's now we're just going to show the actual amount system, it means that that is not demonstrated on the front page until the stuff gets picked back up. Consequence is that instead of feeling like you have 40 patrons, you have 25 patrons, let's say, just as an example, right? Well, what does this do when people come to your page? And instead of seeing, oh, you're making $400 a month and you have 40 patrons, they see, oh, you're making $275 a month and you have 29 patrons. Again, these are extreme numbers, but I'm just giving you an idea, right? What happens is people are like one of two things. Either A, wow, I guess the Patreon isn't going as well as he said it was. I don't know whether I really want to get behind someone who's having some trouble here. Or two, wow, this guy lied to us, because he told us that the number that we're pledging is blah, 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 and yet it's actually blah, 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 blah. The problem here, in addition to the fact that it demoralizes people and or makes them think that the original creator is lying, is that the creator doesn't need this information, right? Because the creator already knows behind the scenes what he or she is actually taking in. I know what my fees are. I know what the amount is that I'm actually taking in. So the only one that this is for is the backers. Presumably, well, I don't know for what reason, just because they want it to be honest or because they want people to really understand how much it costs to support them. In Patreon's infinite wisdom, they also tied this into the goal structure. So when I have a goal that says when you reach 300, we do this on the channel. When we reach 350, we do this on the channel. That number has not been accurate now for over a year, because when you guys pledge another, X amount of money, until we get above fees, which, by the way, you guys don't control and I don't control, that is coming from Patreon, until we get above that number with all fees calculated in, then they continue to make it seem as if you haven't reached the goal that you reached. Well, so what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to set my goal instead of at 300, set it at $311.86 or something, estimating what I think will be necessary to get over the fee structure so that we can actually show the goal? I mean, this is ridiculous. Also ridiculous because they don't give you an opt-out of this system. You just have to do it. Everyone just does it. There is no ungodly reason why you shouldn't be able to get an opt-out. Why am I bringing this up now? Because at the time that they did this, I got basically selected into their little beta thing. And they said, what do you think about this? And I'm like, terrible idea. Please don't do it. Here are the, I hope articulated well, reasons why I really want this to be at least an opt-out system. I'm not the only one who said this. The person who got back to me, customer service person, was like, thank you, that's actually really helpful. I hadn't thought about the fact that it could have this sort of moral effect, the demoralizing effect on people. We will pass that along. So it wasn't just a form response, it was a guy responding to me. Literally 2 weeks later, it rolls out to everybody, and complete ignorance of everything that I said and anybody else said in terms of feedback. Didn't pay any attention at all. They're just like, nope, doesn't matter. We're going to do what we want. This is our decision. That's it. I sent messages. I was like, emails. I tweeted at them. I'm like, when your guy said he was taking feedback into account, was that a lie? I have never heard a response ever from Patreon about this. This is the way they do things. They make a big virtue out of saying, oh, we're going to consult everybody on what we do. Then they ignore what people tell them to do, and they do what the hell they're going to do anyway, all while masking it with this cutesy little, these little smiley face emails and like, we love seeing you make money. And nothing makes us feel better, which is so much warmed over garbage when the reality is that they're ignoring the actual things their creators are telling them to do. Just flat out. Okay? I'll explain why I think Patreon's actually doing that in a minute. So that was problem number one. Screw up number two is the logo. Now, I don't know if people have had a chance, if you remember the old Patreon logo. It is, in fact, the Patreon logo that you will soon see popping up on that corner of your screen. And it was a pretty good logo. It looked like a orange, letter P for Patreon. Whatever the hell, whoever... Now, look, I'm not a graphic designer, okay? I am not a visual artist. I am an artist in other senses. I'm a musician. I'm a writer. I'm a public speaker. I am not a visual artist. But even I know that putting a dot and a line next to each other, making it look like it's a 1970s Pong advertisement, I know enough to know that that's ridiculous. And the fact that it also looks dumb on our pages, and every graphic designer that I could find to talk about this, including our very own beloved Kilobyte and many others, said that was dumb. Just stupid. Like just dumb. Right? But they just did it. Again, they did it. They didn't tell anyone. They didn't take in any feedback. If they did take in feedback, you could have fooled anyone else. They did. Patreon never backtracks. They never admit. I don't even know if they know. I feel like they just do things. I feel like it's like an elephant that just steps on, a mouse and then walks on and is like, sorry. And the mouse is like, I'm half destroyed. And Patreon's like, I'm an elephant. I don't pay attention to people. So logo, minor, but again, it's just an example of how they work. Now we get to this one, and this one is the worst. So for those of you who haven't been following this, the fee situation is as follows. Up to this point, Patreon takes fees whenever you pledge to a creator. And they do this on the basis of both credit card companies and what they charge for fees, but also what Patreon charges for being a service that is used by both creator and by patrons. That part is fine. Like, Patreon needs to survive. I have no problem with them charging fees. That's fine. The idea that, I heard some people talking about this like, oh, it's just another money grubbing. Come on, guys. Like, there's no way that these guys are going to function nonprofit. Okay. Like, they need to have fees. The amount of the fees is another question, and whether they can afford to charge as much as they're charging is another matter, but let that go. Previously, the way that this was done is that the money came out of the patron side. Out of the creator side. So the creators were basically the one. You would all pledge to me. I would get a chunk of money. From that chunk of money was taken the fees for the month, basically, from, for based on the number of patrons and the number of money there was, and then I would then get that amount sent to me. And it was a decent amount of money taken out for fees, but the point, it was on my end. If you pledged $10 to me, you pledged $10 to me. If you pledged $1 to me, you pledged $1 to me. Not $1, and then you have to pay an extra 35 cents, $10, you have to pay in addition. So Patreon has now decided to change that. What's up, Shatter? Now Patreon has decided to change this, and in their infinite wisdom has decided what they will do instead is they are going to charge you, the patron, for every pledge, individual pledge that you make to everyone that you support on Patreon. So now the fees are coming to you. Why do they say this is important? Patreon claims, at least initially claimed, that this was because they wanted the creator to get a bigger chunk of the money. The problem is that by doing this, what they have done is ensure that everyone who pays the smaller amounts, right, the $1, the $2, the $5, whatever, the littler amounts, right, of these things, and who supports a lot of creatives, can't do this anymore because every time you do it, you're getting your fees are getting jacked up. So you're paying 35 cents, let's say, on the dollar. Well, if you're doing that and you're backing 15 people, right, $15 and 35 cents per dollar, that starts adding up. All of a sudden you're paying an extra, I don't know what that is, $5, $6 a month, something like that, extra just for that amount. That's the kind of thing which adds up over time. And so as a consequence, a lot of the small patrons, and I've seen it myself, I've had 3 or 4 people cancel their dollar pledges within the last couple of days because they are getting hit with this. And if you look at Twitter, you'll see it's blowing up with people who are listing like 600 people. I do not blame these people one bit because this is basically price gouging, right? This is what Patreon initially claimed. When there was an enormous, and I mean enormous backlash, because once again, the way Patreon works is they never ask anyone whether, what they should do about it, and they never admit that they might have done something wrong in the process. Never do that. Now, Patreon they claim that, first of all, that they did check in with everybody, that this was run through beta. I can't find anybody who actually was part of this beta, as opposed to the thing I told you about first. There was a beta for that, at least, because I know I was in it. I can't find anybody who was in some beta for this. But regardless of that, they claimed that they had let people know. What they probably did was they sent people a survey, because Patreon routinely does this, in which they said, okay, so how much money would you like to have fewer fees taken out of your total, or something like that? To which clearly the answer from many creatives will be, sure. Who do we want fewer fees taken out from? Not you guys, right? The argument is not, oh, we want fewer fees, so definitely put it on our backers, on our patrons. Why? Because number one, we don't want to screw over you people because A, we like you, and B, you're the people who are helping support us, so we don't want you to be hurt. But also, you're not the problem. Like, the patrons were never the problem. It was not you. It was the exorbitant fees on the other side, which were the issue. And that should have nothing to do with you, right? So the cynical person then says, well, the real reason they're doing this is because this way they can make a metric ton of money for the credit card companies and for their, they also raised recently a lot of venture capital. And so that means there's a lot of venture capital out there that they need to pay back. And how are they going to do that? They have to increase monetization. That's what the cynical person says. But here was the kicker. Here's Patreon's brilliant clarification of why they're doing what they're doing. Okay. They said the real reason is not either of those. The first reason is true. They want to help the creator. But the second reason about the money, it's not about the money, they claim. The real reason is because the supporters of the people who were backing when they started doing this new rollout system of when you pledged, and by the way, this is also something which was not necessarily asked for by everybody, and there was a little more feedback on this, but still, it was Patreon's idea. Their idea was, rather than have everybody pay the first of every month, no matter how long, so if the 20th of a month, you pledge to me, on the first of the month of the following month, that's when you get your benefits. That's when I get your money, blah, 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 blah. Instead of doing that, they decided some months ago that when you pledge to me on the 21st, your card is immediately charged and I immediately get the money for it. You also immediately get the benefits for it on the 21st. Thereafter, it then defaults to what the steady every month patron pays. So if you start on the 21st of May, right, then you pay for the 21st of May, you get all the benefits for the rest of May, and then starting June 1st, you pay from that point on the first of every month. June 1st, July 1st, August 1st, September 1st, and so on, right? Clear, to me, that's pretty clear, it seems, right? It's called it's just obvious to me. But apparently there are some people who don't get this concept. and were complaining to Patreon that they were being double charged. Now, I hope everyone has been able to sit there as reasonably intelligent people and understand what I've just suggested. I hope you guys have all followed what I said, because I'm not a mathematician, but I don't think it's that difficult. You pledge to me on December 8th, you get the benefits until January 1st. You are charged December 8th, you get all the benefits, and then January 1st, you get charged again. This is not double charging. It's called you pay because you're now past December 1st, but as of January 1st, you'll just be on the first of the month like everybody else. So to avoid this problem, what Patreon has decided to do is they've decided to start literally taking everyone's pledges and having every 30-day period be just consistent with the patron. In other words, you back me on the 21st, then every 21st of the month is when you get charged. And they claim that that is going to be such a complex system to maintain, and it's going to be so complex in terms of fee structure, that they need to implement this so that, and I'm paraphrasing here, so that it can be easier both for them to implement and for us to be able to receive the money we need. So because of Patreon's idea, which we didn't ask for, which was implemented shoddily, they have decided to implement another system, which we also didn't ask for, thereby leading to a far more complex, absurd system. And this is where I think the rubber hits the road, folks. I don't actually think that Patreon is a group of money-grubbing jerks. I just think they don't know what the hell they're doing half the time. I think they go out and say, I'm guessing, although I don't know, that it's a fairly small team, not unlike Twitch is a small team. I think they go out and decide, let's do something. Yay! And then like the elephant, they continue to walk forward and pay zero attention to all the people they've stomped on in their wake. This idea is so intensely stupid, I cannot even explain it. This is 2017. To appease the clearly very, very, very small percentage of people, because I've never heard this complaint, and I don't know anyone else who has, I don't see this being a huge problem on Twitter. Why am I being double charged? To appease this tiny minority of people that don't understand the logic of a date, like what a date in a month means, Patreon has decided to royally foul up their entire royalty payment structure so that they can benefit this small minority. Is this a Donald Trump universe or what? Like, what? It's mind-bogglingly dumb. And even worse, it's bad for you. And the whole point of this system is for you folks to help me. I love what we've done with the Patreon. I'm very proud of it. We worked hard on it so that you guys got benefits, we got benefits. It's really helped the channel because I've been able to get things like a new webcam and to be able to subscribe to Roll20 every year and to be able to get Zoom so I can improve video quality of people I bring onto video calls and blah, 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 blah. All of that thanks to the Patreon, thanks to you guys, which is now being screwed up because Patreon doesn't know how to solicit feedback and then listen to it. And instead we get more cutesy emails about, even when they posted on Twitter this thing about, let us clarify, they clarified by telling you what I just told you, which is this nonsense about how we need to make sure that we don't double charge, make people think they're not being double charged even though they never were in the first place. They literally say that, and then everyone is like, there's just hundreds of replies. This is not what we asked for. You don't understand. Have they returned on to say, oh, we hear you? Nope. Here's the elephant. I want you to think about that. Every time you think of Patreon doing something, I don't want you to think of a evil, an emperor from The Last Jedi, right? A Return of the Jedi. I don't want you to think of that. I want you to think of an elephant with a big pong, whatever the hell that symbol is, stuck on its right flank, just going, because that's what they are. Just dumb. So, it's amazing to me. What? Turns the stream all the way down? What the hell, Conrad? What did I do? No, the long and the short of all this is that this is the situation that we're facing. Like, this is the deal. So what I have decided, I've been looking into a lot of different possibilities about how we could handle things separately from Patreon if they don't reverse the course on this. I'm not hopeful they'll reverse course because, like I've told you, they never reverse course, but maybe they'll do it this for the first time this time. Certainly there's been more backlash on this than ever before. So I've been looking into other systems, and one possible system is something which I should have heard about months ago, but I didn't, called Drip, which is a system which is basically a rival which is being put forward by Kickstarter. So here's the thing. What is wrong with my rant? So basically Drip, right? So Drip is run by Kickstarter, and it's currently in closed beta, actually invite only beta. And the idea is that it's very similar to Patreon, but they're not doing any of the dumb things that I just mentioned. The fees are somewhat lower. And of course, they have Kickstarter's 13.7 million backers that can be implemented. The reason that I haven't jumped to one of the other services that are available, I actually have a couple people who made suggestions to me. One person actually had one called, oh gosh, I forget, it was like Honeybee or Honey, I can't remember the name of it. But there's a few different services. But the problem is that Patreon is ubiquitous, right? It's like saying, well, I could take another system besides PayPal if I want to get paid for X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, everybody knows PayPal. Or it's like saying, I could put my book up for sale on my website. Yes. Or you could put your book for sale up on Amazon and get literally 1,000% more exposure than you could ever get by just being on your website. So that's kind of the situation that exists. So basically, given those circumstances, like given the fact that I feel like I just can't go to anything, right? I don't feel like I can go to just anywhere. And I want to go to some place that you folks will feel comfortable coming with me. Like I want to go someplace that you'll feel safe, not like, #sleaze.org or, blah, 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 blah. I want to go someplace that will feel comfortable. And I know a number of you have not only been kind enough to support me on a previous Kickstarter with Icarus when I did that a few years back, but have also started other things. Kickstarter is a brand. Kickstarter is not some fly-by-night deal. People know about it. It's not perfect, but people know about it. It's a large company that's not going to collapse tomorrow. I also happen to have a contact at Kickstarter who I have already contacted. I dropped this person an email and asked basically, hey, is there any, now, and there has been an enormous surge, by the way, in level of interest in Drip already. Like my friend Mike Underwood has been talking about this on Twitter. There's a lot of people who have been sort of looking into Drip right now. So my hope is that Patreon will return to sanity and that we won't have to do anything. But I think the reality is that given their previous examples, so yeah, like just I'm hoping that they will do it, but I'm not hopeful. I'm hoping they will, but I'm not hopeful. So because I think that's not likely, an alternative might be something like Drip. So what I want to say is, number one, I'm sorry. I wish I had control over this. I don't. Two, I really want to ask that if you can hold out, it would help to hold out for us, like not just me, but any other patron that you're any other creator that you're supporting. If you can hold out, we appreciate it. We're trying to fix it. Hopefully Patreon will reverse course, but if they don't, we will hopefully have an alternative for you folks soon. But the third thing I want to say is, if neither of those things is true, like basically if you can't hold out and you can't, then I want to tell you that I completely understand if under those circumstances you have to pull back on your pledges until such time as this gets resolved. I mean, I get it. And I'm never going to blame you, ever. So I just want you to know it would be great if you could stick with it because we're trying to fix it on our end, even though, again, this is Patreon's call. But if you have to pull out because this is just sort of financially beyond what you can handle, or just because you're annoyed at the way Patreon's handling it, zero blame, totally understand, no problem. And I just felt, I'm sorry, Conrad, I apologize that I had to talk about it, but respectfully, this is the Patreon's been running for a long time. And I try not to make huge distinctions on here when I can avoid it, about, between people who support the channel and people who don't. I don't want to make those distinctions because believe me, I know how difficult things can be for people financially. In no way is anyone ever obligated, as I say almost every time, and I think anyone who's watched me for a while will agree. I always say this is never an obligation, but always appreciated. That's the way I feel. That said, I also want to speak to the, 35 or so patrons that I have who have been supporting me in many cases for years, and say, I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix it to the extent that I can. I hope you can stick with it, but if you can't, totally understand, no problem, and hopefully we'll all get this resolved down the line. So that's basically the solution. And all I want, I don't want to burn, Patreon, again, it's been a good, useful service. I'm not trying to burn it to the ground. I just want them to wake up. And I mean, if they need revenue, this is not the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. This is a major blow, and it's a major blow at the worst possible time when you have Kickstarter waiting in the wings. If Drip goes live in the next week and Patreon is still doing what they're doing, this is going to be, I'm not going to say that it will end them. It's not going to end them, but it's a big blow because Kickstarter is a big deal, and Kickstarter knows what it's doing, and it's been doing it very well for a long time. That's the reason you don't have 6 million competitors. You have basically Indiegogo and a couple of other smaller things, and that's it. Kickstarter is it for that kind of service, and that's because they know what they're doing. So if you're Patreon, you can't just assume that you've got the field to yourself, because you don't. So yeah, so that's the situation. I am aware of it. I'm trying to address it as best I can on my end. And I hope, I apologize for the rant, but I needed to explain it and not just pretend that it wasn't there, because I'm not the only one who's been talking about it. It's a big problem. So I hope that makes sense to people. I do want to get on and get into playing D&D and get into sort of gaming and stuff like that. But if anyone wants to throw a quick question at me, like I'll allow like a minute or two questions, only like a minute or so, because I really do want to get onto D&D. But you can feel free to lay them on me if you got questions, because yeah. Well, thanks, Shatter. Sure. My pleasure. I mean, you guys know the drill. I don't love, the whole, well, I do and I don't. It's not like the financial side of things is my favorite thing in the world to talk about, but I do believe creatives need to survive. I am fortunate that my day job is as a college professor, because I'm not making money, I make money on my writing, but I don't certainly make nowhere near enough to make a living wage, nor do I do that with the Patreon, but all of it helps. And a lot of writers, Cameron Hurley uses a Patreon now, Martha Wells, N.K. Jemisin, these are all people who have been able to supplement their writing with Patreons. They're all surviving, in part because of what Patreon provides them. And this is going to burn them as much as it's going to burn anybody else. So, I will now shut up. And, okay. Thank you. I will be happy to answer more questions off stream or elsewhere or whatever else. Dragon, I guess I got to ask you, man, to just watch the previous, because I don't want to go back through it again. If Patreon doesn't change course, I am actively looking to switch platforms, yes. But I can only switch platforms to something that has a chance of being adopted with some similarity, like as Patreon, like something that people actually know. And at the moment, the only one that really fits that bill is the new thing coming out from Kickstarter. Not new, but the thing that's being expanded, which is called Drip, which is currently an invite-only closed beta. So if Patreon doesn't switch, then as soon as possible, I'm going to jump ship. If they don't switch, then I'll stick with where I am. But what they did was dumb, and it's the third time they've done something dumb. So that's it. Are these the best headphones I've ever owned? For streaming? Yes. These Beyerdynamic DT770s are badass. They're great. But they are heavy, and they are closed ear, and they are hot. I don't mean hot like hot. That's hot. I mean they literally make your ears sweat. And when you're wearing them, you literally have no idea how loud you're talking. So I can just be like, bah, 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 and I have no idea because I just can't hear myself out in the room. These ones are open air and are much more comfortable in that respect. So I love so for streaming headphones, I adore these. Adore them. You were never banned, Conrad. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You're not banned, but I've got to be able to talk. This is literally the first time I've talked about the Patreon in an extended way in a year and a half. I have to be able to do that once in a while, man. Come on. I have to. I can't not talk about it publicly. So, okay. These are Sennheiser HD350 HD598. There we go. HD598. And yeah, nobody banned him, did they? Did anybody ban him? Oh, he's back. Yeah. No. There's no ban. No. No ban. No ban. No problems. No bans. No bans. But yeah, these are HD598s. They're awesome. They're really cool. Okay. Yeah, exactly. They're hot, not hot. All right. Now, with all that said, let us move on to more pleasant affairs. Let's get on to fat, less fat, fat, less fat, fat, less fat, fat, less fat, less fat, fat, fat. Okay. But anyway, let's get on to stuff. So what we're doing tonight, folks, is we are playing Defiance in Flan, and we're doing it with viewers. Now, the way that we play D&D with viewers is as follows. If you guys want to play with me, there are a couple of things you need to do that I sort of prioritize, okay? Priority number one is that you need to have a microphone. You've got to have one. Just, you have to. If you don't have a microphone, I'm sorry. Like, you've got to have a mic because people need to be able to hear you. It is strongly urged that you have a webcam. It's not an absolute requirement, but I think I've only ever played with maybe one person who didn't have a webcam. And again, the reason is because facial expressions make a difference. I can tell you, having played a lot of D&D, that being able to see people face to face definitely makes a difference. So that's kind of the situation. So yeah, that's the situation. So yes, so the second thing is webcam would be helpful. Third thing is that you need to be able to commit the next couple of hours or so, because I'm planning to run this until about 1:30 or so. So you need to be able to commit a couple of hours to this session. If you have to leave in a half hour, please don't ask, because that's the deal. So yes. And so that was the situation with that. And then the last thing is it would be helpful if you knew a little bit about D&D. And I mean a little, not like a huge, oh, I'm an incredible expert. You do not need to be an expert at all. I've played with very, very beginner players. But it would be nice if you're like, what is a die? How do I roll a die? What does a die mean? Then maybe not, think I'm not quite sure if that would be helpful for you. But otherwise, and the last thing is, I prefer to have people that have not played with me before get first dibs. That doesn't mean that other people who have played with me before can't play, because I definitely play with repeat folks. But I just like to have some new folks in there as well, so that I can get at many of the, as many sort of new folks in here as possible. So if you haven't played with me before, you get priority. But that doesn't mean that if you have played with me that you can't do it. So the only absolute requirement is you need to have a microphone. It would be, and that you need to be able to commit a couple hours to this. Otherwise, would really appreciate a webcam. Would be nice to have a little bit of knowledge about role playing. Oh, and also it'd be nice if you're a decent, nice person. That would also be helpful. So with that said, who wishes to join the Defiance in Flan, the dead at High Sun? Who wishes to become part of the dead at High Sun? The dead. All right, C-Dip. A mic, a camera. I have D&D experience, a Roll20 account. I have the time. Basically, C-Dip, what you're telling me is you have the tools and you have the talent. All right, you're in. You're in, C-Dip. Okay. Player number 1 is in. I need a few more. C-Dip is the man. All right. Or the woman. We'll find out. C-Dip. Male? Female? I don't want to immediately assume gender. So, but yes, awesome C-Dip. Welcome in. Okay, next one. Stipulations are you have to have a mic. You've got to have a microphone. I would prefer strongly, although it's not an absolute requirement, that you have a webcam. A little bit of D&D experience would be nice. That's not a requirement, but it would be nice to have a little bit. And you need to be able to commit a couple hours, basically. Wenchkin, what's up, man? Mail. Oh, 1,000 CDIP. You know the drill. 1,000% non-binary folks are absolutely welcome on this channel with dead seriousness all the time. Everyone is welcome on this channel. Unless you're Donald Trump, then you're not welcome, but otherwise. Also, if you like raisins. No, I'm just joking. Even if you like raisins, that's fine. Kilobyte likes raisins, and we let him on here, so, I mean, okay. Good, man. I'm doing well. Wenchkin has been here for a while. So Wenchkin has done this with us before. So yes, so I've got one person. I need 3. I could maybe do 4, but I need at least 3 more people to go. So 3 to 4. Except Trollware. Yeah, see, I love Dragon, and Dragon Spear is awesome, and he loves raisins. So raisins, that's fine. Don't worry about that. I'll just think slightly less of you, but I'll keep it to myself. No, we do not. Kilobyte suggested that too. I'm like, that's a good way to not ever be approved on my channel. Oh, look, Arbraisin. Oh, look, delete. Oh, look, permaban. Okay. So we got CDIP. Who else we got? I need 3 to 4 more to play The Dead at High Sun. By the way, characters will be provided. You'll get a choice of characters, but I mean, I have pre-gen characters for you. And, yeah. No goddamn chaotics. I like you, chaotics. Don't make me re-examine our friendship here. See? No, it's not a hidden Oh my god. If someone put that in as a hidden emote, there would be an investigation to end all investigations. I'm talking like Star Trek VI, Undiscovered Country, Conspiracy Unmasking, Grassy Knoll, Sherlock Holmes, Take Down Professor Moriarty level, you know, Robert Mueller, Russia investigation. Like that level of investigation. Hey, what's up, Miranda? Nice C-Dip, nice C-Dip. What's up, Miranda? They were joking about a raisin emote. Okay, I need 3 more people, folks. Challenge accepted. Dude. No. Do not do it. I will send people your way. We will have we will have an IT battle between you and me, who knows nothing about it but has friends who do. No, seriously, please do not. I seriously don't want secret emotes. It would be funny as a joke, but then it would get not funny because people would... No, just please don't. Right, exactly. And Twitch would censor it. There's also that. We could risk our affiliate status. Twitch would be like, this is clearly offensive on all levels. You might as well just put 666. You PM me on Discord. Thanks, Shatter. Thank you, sir. Cute, Wenchkin. Cute. I think they like seeing your stress levels raising. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. You had that one chambered and ready, huh? All right, 667 is in. Okay. That's 2. So we've got CDIP and we got 667. 667 just joined us this morning when I was doing this afternoon when I was doing my fantasy. Oh my god. Fantasy Fiction Friday. All of a sudden, I'm like, what do I call my own show? The Fantasy Fiction Friday thing today. So he joined us there, and he's a member of he's actually in a metal band, a signed metal band. Thank you very much. So it's going to be awesome. I'm going to assume that 667 is going to want to play a bard, but we'll see if that's true. Awesome. Okay, so C-Dip's in, 667 is in. We need two more. Two more. I can go with three, but I'll take two. Two more. Two more to play The Dead at High Sun. That's true. That's true, Wenchkin. That's true. It is dangerous to keep in puns. You have a peanut butter addiction? Peanut butter, I can get behind that. Although I have to say cashew butter is legit. Peanut butter's good. But boy, cashew butter. And it's funny because I actually think I like peanuts better than cashews as nuts. But cashew butter, I think, has got the edge on peanut butter. I gotta be honest. Yeah, I know. I understand Chaotix. I didn't want to start quite as late as I was either, but it was unavoidable. We had to get Christmas stuff today and a whole bunch of other things. We did, though. We got a nice Christmas tree, and we got some lights, and we got a wreath, and we got the whole 9 yards. But I had errands to run. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh, that is going very well, actually, Shatter. We are closing in. We now have only, I think, 2 songs left that are in the mixing phase. And then we just master the whole album and we're done. It's actually coming together really nicely. In fact, I think we have a tentative title for the album, which is going to be called Lament. So we have a tentative title for it. And yeah, I'm all about it. No, I didn't get a picture of it. No, because we haven't set it up in the house yet, though. We haven't put up ornaments or anything. We just got it today. So over the weekend, we will probably set it up in the house. And then probably early next week is when we'll put the ornaments on. So then I will definitely have tweets out about it and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. There's actually a couple of songs that came out. There's some songs that came out that I hadn't been digging the song that much at first, and then I heard it here, and I'm like, it's all right. Came out. So, yeah. First in line for signing. Hell yeah, man. Shatter's got great musical taste as a also lover of tall heights, etc. Well, Rock God, I am going to be talking to some people about that. One of the people that I might speak to is someone who might have had some, connection to the to photography that might show up in the album. There may be some people that might have been involved with, like a live shoot that that I might consult. I don't know yet, but yes, I was going to be speaking to you about that at some point. I'm waiting though because I want to actually get the damn album finished before I really start talking about art direction. I mean, it's only going to have, honestly, not a big insert. It's not like Monomyth, which was our second album, had a pretty big insert because it was a concept album. This one is a lot, more stripped down. So, yes, but I don't know whether it's early or late spring. It could well be Shatter, it could be May-ish, honestly. It could be late spring. Spring, I think, is I'm pretty confident it'll be in spring, but it could be May. So, I'm just letting you know. Okay, who else we got, guys, for D&D? Two more. I need 2 more. I got C-Dip, and I've got 667. I need 2 more. 2 more to play D&D. Defiance and Flan. The Dead at High Sun. To prove how serious I am about this, I'm going to now have a spoonful of Cheerios and crackling oat bran. Because you're going to have to get to bed soon, Shatter? Is it possible that because we got started late, we got started too late? That would be sad if that were true. That's too bad. That's too bad. Oh, you got an early simulator session. I gotcha. Well, I would much rather you be both rested and well trained, given your job. I could just imagine like horrific airplane, accident, promising pilot careers cut short due to Dungeons and Dragons session, and then you just have a picture of me like in the, in the newspapers. Oh God. Oh, poor Shatter's family. They're just like, why? Why did he make him play D&D? God, why? Play tomorrow. Yeah. Can't. I'm playing D&D with IAB tomorrow. Can't. Oral exam and a sim eval. Right, recurrent. How often do you have to do that training, Shatter? I'm curious. And just while everyone's wondering, I am still looking for 2 more players. I just don't want to keep repeating it every 3 seconds, but I need 2 more players, folks. We got CDIP, we got 667. I need 2 more. 2 more. Annually. Damn. Isn't it amazing that plane flying, and again, I'm not comfortable flying myself. It makes me nervous. And I would probably rather take a train or drive, only because it makes me nervous because of the whole plane thing. But isn't it amazing that plane flying, which is infinitely safer than driving, they make these pilots retest every year, and people who get their driver's license don't have to basically see anyone on the other side of a test for decades. Decades. It's fine. Also, it doesn't matter where you got your license. Like I consider myself a very good driver because my father, who was a driving instructor, also taught me. So I'm very careful, whatever. But truthfully, I took my test in Winstead, Connecticut. If you've ever been to Winstead, Connecticut, Winstead is not exactly a city environment. Okay, Winstead is pretty freaking quiet. And so I drove around and I did everything, and the guy was very happy with me. Meanwhile, people are taking their tests in the Bronx. Okay, there's a big difference between getting your license in Winstead, Connecticut, and getting your license in the Bronx, and yet counts for the same. You have renewal every 5 years. CDIP, did I know that you were a ship captain? I didn't know that. Why, dude, I have an incredible command structure on this channel with people. I basically could just assemble the Enterprise. I could just be like, all right, I need a pilot, I need a captain. I could just assemble the arrayed forces. Well, Conrad, I don't mind if you just want to do the microphone. I can deal with that. Like I say, I prefer webcam, but that's not an absolute. You do have to have a mic, though. I do need to hear talking. We need that. Yeah, seriously, 10. So many cool people with cool talents. Are you able to say what kind of a ship? Please tell me a starship. Is it a starship? See? I got my Enterprise going on. Is it? I'm a starship captain. It's no big deal. I just happen to like Twitch. My real name is Captain James Tiberius Kirk. I just like Twitch though. So I like your work, Arv. Now I'm gonna go hang out with Mr. Spock, and we're gonna go explore strange new worlds and beat up some Klingons. Captain upgrade training. I dig it. I dig it, Shatter. That's awesome, man. Shatter, have you been called, as Mr. Spock once was, the best first officer in the fleet? Have you ever been forced to countermand your captain? Dude, that's crazy, though. You'll be a New York-based captain? You're moving up to NYC? Are you moving to New York? CDIP, that's badass. Holy cow. 500-ton oil ship? Holy crap. My father was a Lieutenant JG in the Navy, and he, in peacetime, there were a couple cases where he was like, on the bridge of a destroyer and stuff, commanding the ship. But I mean, he was only commanding while the captain wasn't there and the first officer wasn't there, and like that's crazy. You'll just be based there. Okay. Still though, that's cool. That's awesome, man. I did. I said, I think I said chatter about something. Okay, does that mean, Conrad, you're in or out? Are you cool now? Because Conrad, let me ask you, if you're uncomfortable with having your voice, also really with having your voice be heard, then you're probably going to have to sit this one out, not because I'm trying to exclude you, but just because it's important that for a viewing experience that people be able to kind of hear a little bit of like emotional reaction and stuff like that from the players. But I'm not going to insist on the webcam. Like, that's fine. But I would need, are you cool on the voice side is the question. Either way, I still need another person besides, even if Conrad says, go ahead, he says, yeah. So who else wishes to be part of D&D Defiance at Flawn? The Dead at High Sun. Nice. I'm known for being on or ahead of my game. This is what happens when you're a top speedrunner. Do you ever say, oh, hell, I do this all this time when I jump parsecs in Elite Dangerous? You ever say that and then they look at you and you're like, right, well, how about those pre-flight checks then? Oh, thank you, Genghis Galahad. My voice is golden for radio. Thank you. I appreciate that. Are you volunteering, Genghis Galahad? That's a great name, by the way. Although I'm a little troubled. Does that mean that, are you more Genghis or Galahad? Are you like Genghis like on Mondays and Wednesdays and Galahad on alternate Thursdays? Like when are you Genghis and when are you Galahad? Yeah, but Shatter, now you get to order like full photons. Now you can order full phasers. I have this fantasy that every plane has actually secretly got phasers, but nobody ever talks about it and nobody ever wants to actually pretend. Everyone's always like, no, it's ridiculous. No. Come on, man. It's science fiction. Door closes. Fire all phasers. Like, someday when I grow up. But yes, please let me know. Genghis, if you're in, please let me know. Or anyone else. I need one or two more. You do not. I've heard you sound before. You do not sound like a nasally, nerdy kid. No, you don't. Although I have to say, there's a guy, one of the Star Trek episodes, William Marshall plays this guy, Dr. Daystrom, who's the guy who designed all of the Enterprise's computer systems. He's African-American. First of all, I just was an example. I really love how in the show he talked about the fact that they made him into this incredibly dignified character who was just continually referred to with respect, even when he was causing problems because the computer goes rogue or whatever. And he was just completely like, he had incredible presence. But his voice is just like, yes, there are other things a man like you might do. Other things a man like you. And I'm like, tell me more, Mr. William Marshall. Like, he's got a... No joke, man. No joke. That's Men 101. Yeah. That's true, Dragon. True that. Right. You have to work the quality of your voice. I mean, Howard Stern does not have... listen, Howard Stern was pretty successful in radio, and that dude doesn't have... well, what I need to consider. That guy is not James Earl Jones on a mic. So... They don't have phasers. They only have photon torpedoes. Okay. Anyway, but we have to get started, guys, because it is getting kind of late. So, I mean, the truth is, it is possible that maybe I got started too late, and I'm going to have to reschedule this somehow for some time in the month. I don't know. I'll have to look and see when, but it is possible. In which case, I would probably just play Hob or something, because I do have Hob that I was going to start, and I could reverse that. I could. Let me ask you guys this. How do I join? I'm terribly behind in tech needs. I'll explain that, and then I'll say that we could do that, guys. If you would rather, we could move this. Let me take a look at the calendar. But I do see Genghis Galahad, and I do hear that, and so we might be able to work this out after all. But I could do this instead. So let me just check. Excuse me. Take a look at the calendar. So right now I have the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th all as possible dates for, yeah, maybe that makes more sense, guys. Maybe that makes more sense. Maybe I just need to, like, maybe I need to move this forward to next week and move it to the 15th. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's better. Would you guys be terribly upset if I moved it to the 15th instead? Because I feel bad. I don't want to make something where we push it, and then we get like a really rushed session or anything. Can we do that? Can we try to push that forward? And I'll give CDIP, I'll still give first dibs to you, man, because you were the first one to volunteer. I'll still give first dibs to you. Conrad, I can still do that. Okay. Yeah, so let's just do that, guys. It's my fault because we got started late, and then we had the rant on top of it that I had to talk about with Patreon, so it's my fault. You work Thursday, Sunday all month. How can I address that? Well, here's what I'll do, Shatter. If I can't promise this, but I'm going to be probably doing at least one, maybe two extra streams this month because this semester ends next week with finals. So I can promise you that when I reschedule it, I'll consider moving it to one of those days, but I can't promise it. Yeah, I'm sorry, CDIP. I'm sorry. Is that CDIP? I apologize. I apologize. That's my fault. Again, I try to get started with these things at 9, but as I've said to you guys before, the problem is that Fridays are also the day that I spend with my daughter the most, because we're teaching at different times, and her mom's, well, in case anyone's confused, we're married and live together. That's not the issue. But the issue is that just schedule-wise, my daughter, this is the day that I take her to school, then I pick her up from school, then we have an adventure. Today we had to get a Christmas tree, and we had to get Christmas lights, and she got a wreath, and she picked out this, and she picked out that, and she got stuff, and we got some presents. And so, unfortunately, family has to come first in these cases, and so I try to be back to get started by 9. But I can't always promise that. And then the Patreon situation happened. So I had to address the Patreon situation. So I'm really sorry, CDIP. I'm sorry. And I apologize to everyone who came here being like, oh, yeah, D&D. I'm really sorry about that. I will get it done. So what we'll do is we'll start Hob tonight, and I will move this to the 15th. So I will move D&D with viewers to the 15th. So yes. Yeah, changes, Mirinda. It's too much for me to go into again, but if you look at the VOD, you'll see it. If you check back at the VOD for the first half hour or so, I talk about it. So, well, you know what's funny, Mirinda? For the first time, by the way, spoilers, and in case anyone in chat, this is a serious question. Does anyone in chat have kids watching right now? Not even joking. Because on Pacific time, it's only 8:30 right now. So does anyone have kids watching? Little kids. I'm dead serious about this. Before I answer this question. And then we're going to play Hob, which I'm actually excited to play. So that's fine. It's still going to be a good stream. It's just D&D will happen next week. So my apologies. And Genghis Galahad, just so you know, for next week, if you want to try this out as well for D&D viewers, my request is you have to have a microphone. Have to. I would prefer that you have a webcam. It would be nice if you have a little role-playing experience. That would be nice. You have to be a nice person. You have to commit a couple of hours, usually 3-ish hours or so, to the session. And the preference is for people who have not played with me before first, although I usually have a couple of holdovers, but I always want to give people a chance first. So that's why. Ah, shoot. Okay. That sucks. I'm sorry, CDIP. I'm really sorry. I feel really bad. But because you scheduled it and everything around your schedule. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, because I'm not going to be doing it again until February. That sucks. Okay, nope. Okay, good. So yes, so what I would do, in answer to the Santa Claus thing, my daughter for the first time figured this out My daughter figured out basically last year she was having serious questions about it. She had some thoughts about it when she was 7, then she seriously questioned at 8, and then in like last year, and she was like, I just want to know, I want to know. So then we were honest and we said, well, here's the deal. And she was mostly wanted to know, was it us? And we said yes. And she was really happy. It was really kind of moving because she was like, so you did all that for me? And I was like, I'm just going to take a moment to tear up here. And I said, yeah, because we love you. And also because I do think the concept of Santa Claus matters a lot. And because I think faith in something, like gaining an understanding of something, which means that you don't necessarily have faith in that thing exactly, doesn't mean that you don't have faith in other things. Like I didn't want her to be like, well, if that's not real, then nothing is real. I was like, no. That's not what I mean. I just mean this particular thing. So she not only took really well to it, she's really excited because now she gets to play Santa with us for her brother. And she gets to do that for years. And she's not one of these kids that's going to be like, haha, and then like spring out of nowhere and be like, guess what? She's not a mean kid at all. So she's going to be really great. So it actually went really well. So that's what I did. Oh, God, Dragon. Yeah. So that was really sweet. I love my kids. Have I talked about that on the stream? I don't think I've talked about it before. So make clear, I love my kids. Kids are awesome. You play Adventures League once a week, your local comic hobby shop. Oh, man. Yeah. Mirinda, yeah. From the great Terry Pratchett. Pratchett would have been the first one, though, to appeal for something like this. Oh, man. And speaking of Pratchett, my daughter loves Terry Pratchett. She has 2 collections of short stories by him that she loves. And I couldn't be happier. I'm like, I cannot even explain how happy I am that you like reading Pratchett by yourself. Like, that I don't have to, like, push it or anything. Like, it's Pratchett. Like, how great is that? Like, oh, man. It's the best. Yeah, I don't think I have. Oh, man. Okay, so we will reschedule then that D&D to next week. We'll reschedule the 15th. Again, one last apology for everyone else. Now, the good news, though, about this is that does mean that I get to play some Hob. So let me adjust the stream title. I already installed Hob. I already made sure it worked. By the way, just for the record, I'm going to pop this up so people can see it. Are you guys ready for your map? I want to make sure. Is everyone ready for their map? You guys want to see the map that you were going to start using today? Okay, for those of you coming back, remember, next Friday, 9 p.m., we'll be doing it. And there won't be any rant next Friday, I don't think. So, we'll be ready. You rank him as author above me. I am honored to be behind Terry Pratchett as an author, Dragon. You know who else I rank above me? Charles Dickens. George Bernard Shaw, better writer. Virginia Woolf, better writer. Ursula Le Guin, better writer. Those are fine. Those are giants. I am happy to be behind the giants. I am working towards someday measuring up by creating work that might be worthy of those giants. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Oh, Rock God, that's funny. What's up, Tesmaya? Okay, here we go. Here's the map you guys would have seen. Get ready to have your mind blown. Get ready, chat. Get ready, chat. Get those Pog champs. Get those ARV champs. Sorry. By the way, there's the actual Patreon logo right there. That's the good one, okay? That's the one that they should use. Anyway, get those ARV champs ready. Here we go. Here's the map. Here we go. Da, da, da. Aw, yeah. Observe the map. Look at the detail. Look at the detail. The detail. The detail. Whip zoom. You don't know what that's descending into. Is that descending into darkness? Or is it descending into light? Is it descending into a crypt? A cathedral? A valley? A pit? The warp nacelles? You have no idea. So you guys think that this is just theater of the mind? This is coming to you in 720p. See, even Roll20 couldn't handle it. 720p. 720. I give this ladder a C+. All right, I think that's enough. That's like, I can only show you so much of the touch of God right there. Oh God! All right. That said, though, I actually really have been enjoying the Defiance and Flan ones. They are pretty sweet. Oh my God! And by the way, one last thing, and then we're gonna get into Hob. For those of you watching my Tolkien campaign, I have had a chance to look over the PDF of currently I've been playing Wilderland Adventures with these folks, which is going to, if they do well enough, get them up to like level 6-ish or so. Then they will be taking over with the full Mirkwood campaign. Oh my God, the Mirkwood campaign is maybe one of the most involved, expansive, and like complex and deep campaigns I've ever read. It is so, like, it spans 30 years. It is a 30-year long, like in game terms, obviously, campaign. Now, admittedly, that's because, like, Middle-earth does things slightly differently, Adventures of Middle-earth, but still. Like, what the... I was just like... In-game, yeah. In-game, not actual 30 years. No. But in-game. That is nuts. It's really good. It's really good. Oh, man. That's going to be epic. It's going to be super epic. So... yeah, I've been really impressed, and I saw, by the way, that is anyone a human? Well, yeah, Amal is dragon. Amal is she's a woodman. We got a Bjorning, we got a woodman, we've got a dwarf, and we've got a Dunedain. Yeah, character dies of age before the end of the campaign. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to unmute that then. And, all right, Roll20 is closed down. Good, lovely. Okay, so again, apologies. Now, let me fix the stream title and let's switch to that. Is she from a Numenorian ancestry? No, but she's probably fairly young. But see, that's what I'm saying though, Dragon. Can you imagine the possibilities? 30 years is doable. If you start adventuring at like 22, you could finish adventuring at 52. It's possible. Like technically, well, I don't want to give it away, but you know, Greyshade is like in his 40s when he's doing this stuff. Like it's possible. So that would be pretty epic, actually. I think to have like, imagine the arc. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's pretty cool. I really, really am impressed with what Cubicle 7 did with this game. I really am. Okay, see you, Shatter. Hey, everybody in chat, give Shatter good luck because he's doing some training tomorrow on flying planes, so all of you don't die. So give Shatter Mage some luck. Serious good luck, man. Dragonborn Fighter Path of Samurai. Yeah. But see, Dragonborn, but there's no Dragonborn in that. No, I think that I'm considerably nicer than Greyshade is, for one thing, and I don't have nearly the darkness he does. But there's parts that are overlaps, for sure. I am in my 40s. That is true. I am in my exact middle 40s, in fact. I am 45. Okay, I am changing my title of my stream right now to Hob. And for those of you who came for D&D, I hope you'll stick around for Hob, because Hob is really cool. Okay. So, our streams Let's see. Arv streams Hob. Just went live with Hob. Oh. I don't know, man. I don't get it, Dragon. Good luck, Shatter. It is D&D 5e. Yeah, which is my favorite. That is my favorite system. But see, that's what I'm saying. Adventures of Middle-earth is based on the 5th edition system, and that shows you how strong it is. The fact that you can get the flavor of Tolkien so perfectly and still have 5e rules. And there's some new things they added to it. There's the journey rules. There's the audience rules. So there is the corruption rules. So there are some differences, but those are just additions. They don't take away from it. So yeah, it's super good. Like, I cannot even describe how impressed I've been with Cubicle 7. Not just because they sponsor us, but because they're just really good. I'm really impressed with them. Okay, story driven and now let's do variety. Okay. Okay, and let's update information. It should now be updated. Cool. All right, so again, we will reschedule the next week. I am so sorry again for everybody that came for D&D alone. Again, I've explained why, so I won't explain yet another time. But yes. Okay. Now the good news is, like I said, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say before we get there. Whoops. But I have been pretty happy with what I've seen about Hob so far. So we will find this out together and see whether we all agree that it's as good as I feel like it is. We'll see. Okay. Desktop audio is on. Let's do it, people. Really? Okay. Let's take a look at the launcher. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you to the makers of Hob for making a borderless windowed mode default. Thank you. Here we go. Oh, wait, no, wait, stop, no. No, wait, stop. Wait, no. Main menu, quit. No, quit. Okay. Quit, damn it. I need to attach my controller. Okay, Okay. Yes. So okay. I will be using for this my trusty Logitech dual action controller, and let me be the first to tell you all, I have two of these Logitech dual actions, one slightly older than the other, and these things just work. And they last forever, and they feel great, and they're just, I have nothing but good things to say about Logitech for this. I would like to have better things to say about Logitech's software for their webcams, but on this, they got this right. Rumble Pack, yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's see. Boo-boo. All right. Now, let's get Hob going. I thought I had this on Game Capture already, but it doesn't look like I did. But now I have a controller set, so... controller... Okay, good. Game Capture. Hob. Specific window. And it should be on now. There we are. Look at that. Yeah, and I had, you know what, CDIP, I used a C920 for a long time, and I actually changed that over to my portable rig, which is called Arvbox. So I do use, I'm still using the C920 for that, but I gotta be honest, and I understand I have a Windows 7 machine, so maybe finally the drivers are starting to show their age or whatever here, but I have to say, like, it never looked as good as I wanted it to. Like, everyone was always like, oh, it's the best quality in the market. it just, I was always like, it's okay. And I wanted it to look better. And so finally I got frustrated, and because of my wonderful patron supporters, I got a C922, and the camera, it looks gorgeous, but the controls don't function properly in OBS, especially zoom in, which is what I'd love to be able to use. So I don't understand why. You'd think that would be the one thing. Like, Logitech has more money than God. You'd think they would be like, hey, let's actually do something important. Like, for example, let's try something bizarrely unusual, like actually putting in software. You know, like, come on, man. Okay. So that's there, and that is now locked in. Okay, good. Oh, God, at some point, you know what, Dragon? Eventually I am going to have to do that, but, ugh. Okay, so now, the question I have, guys, is, that is not the question I had at all. Let's see, first of all. Right, so none of this is working yet, so I need to get the controller working. Options. Controls. Input type. Nope, wrong controller. What? What? Are you gonna make me do this stupid Xbox thing? Thank you for the host, Mudmink. Oh man, am I gonna have to do the stupid... I'm gonna have to do the dumb... Oh man. Alright, I gotta do the stupid thing where you do that, the controller... Where's that controller software thing that I have? X360CE, that's what I need. Which I have. All right. Okay. Let's check properties. Point of view head is working. The thing is, I prefer the PlayStation controllers. I don't like the Xbox controllers all that much, honestly. So I just wish they would just be like, you know, just use it. Okay, so that's working. That's working. That's fine. All right. General. Yeah, that's true, Specchio. Also, what's up, man? Okay. Oh, it's gonna make me use these stupid triggers. Oh, good Christ. I don't know what the... Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to make it as close to the default as we can. So... Chord. Okay. What is going on? This is not working. All right, I hope this is right. Okay, that is working. Okay. Let's hope that's right. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, man. That'll be good, Genghis. Thank you very much. Pleasure to have you on board, as always. And, yeah. Like I said, I dig the name. All right, here we go. This is not good. Am I gonna have to use keyboard? That's garbage. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't think this was going to be a problem, actually. I might have to just use keyboard and then figure out a solution for it later. Okay. Does not include... That is a good question. I'm really looking forward to showing you guys this game. It's a really pretty game. And it's interesting because there's so little talk about, like you just figure it out in a way. So, choose settings, controllers. See, I have a DualShock controller, but oh, I guess I could use that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to try this then. I do have a DualShock controller. I got it right here. So, okay. Let's do it. Let's download it. Let's download now. Let's quit out of this. Bear with me. Okay. Run that through a quick scan. No problems. Lovely. There is a, and by the way, for those of you, how many people in here have played Hob? I assume some people have heard of it, obviously not all of you, but how many people have actually played it? The reason I ask is because Runic Games, which were also the folks that did Torchlight 1 and 2, okay, also did Torchlight 1 or 2, they, let's see, let's just do that. They are going out of business, basically, which sucks. All right. Uh-oh. Okay, this is a really cool, like, how do I describe it? Like a puzzle game. It's largely a puzzle game. It's very influenced by Zelda. Very, very influenced by Zelda. Very much influenced by Zelda. So. Okay, something is installing. Your device is ready to use. Okay. We're going to find out how ready to use we are. right, bear with me. Show icon and notifications, okay. Yeah, I don't know how many people played Torchlight, but I certainly did. I don't know whether this worked. Yeah, this is a really cool game. If this doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to figure out the controller situation at a later point. And we'll still play Hob, but we'll just be playing it, you know. We'll still play it, but we'll do it with the keyboard for now. It's actually, I think it's either Rogan or Divinorium. I can't remember, one of those two guys. Of FF3. Ooh, I played, what have I played? I played FF1. I played FF2. I played FF4, although I didn't finish it. I've played FF5 to completion, 6 to completion, 7 to completion. 8 I played a few hours until I couldn't stand what they called a story with Beverly Hills 90210 or whatever the hell that was. And then I played 9 to completion, which was awesome as well. And then 10 I got like halfway through and got bored with it. Okay, I mean, that's working. It's working. The question is it working well enough? But is it working enough? All right, let's find out, shall we? Lar. Damnation. Alright, well, it's gonna have to be keyboard then. That's okay. It's okay. It's just, it's too bad because... Oh, now it's working. It's on now. Controller 1 is using profile default. Yes, it is working now. Something's working, so now maybe it's controller's officially on. All right, hold the phone, hold the phone. Oh. Installing device driver software. It is installing that stuff. Okay. Bear with me then. Okay. That's sort of working. All right. It's trying to work. It's got Xbox 360 controller for Windows that it's trying to install right now. Trying. It looks promising. It's got the blue. Okay. Sounds good. See you, Rock God. Come on, driver software. Install faster. Oh, man. Why cannot you just be more kind to things? Sorry this is taking a while, guys. I didn't realize that this was going to be... I wasn't planning to play this tonight, obviously, and I didn't realize that there was going to be issues with the controller. Hello? Wow. Come on, man. No, this is ridiculous. No. Sorry. You're taking too long. This is taking too long. Yeah, exit. This is taking too long. No, I want you to stop with the 360. Stop.